start today's session. I hope everyone just joined us in this class. And if you're new on the Officers Adda 24/7, hit the subscribe button and download the Adda 24/7 application so that you can get regular update from our side. Okay. So quickly, let's start today's class. And before to start, there is a very important news for all of you. Your exam is very nearby, and this is a time when we are just offering the month end sale, and you are just going to get the flat 80% off by using this code, that is Y422. You only have to use this code Y422 in whatever the batch you are just going to enroll, whether it is JIB or CIB, right? So you can just use this code Y422 and you are going to get the big discount over this, right? And the very important thing, that case study batch, you can also enroll for the case study batch, and this is available in the bilingual as well as the English medium. You are going to get this course. Okay, so what the thing that you have to do, that is the only thing that you have to use the code Y422, and with this code you will also get the discount on these batches. Okay, so the case study batch is a very essential. If I say the lot of question today, because the examination level is a slightly high. Okay, so the case study batch, the motto of that, to understand the concept behind like whatever the question that may be asked in the examination. So that's why this batch is a very important for all of you, right? Okay, so this is the last opportunity that you all are just getting. Okay, so just apply this code Y422 and you will get the flat 80% off, right? Another thing, that our selection batch is just continuing, so you can also enroll for that. And there are few classes has been done, but more classes still remain, so you can just enroll for that. The mock test, live classes, recorded classes, all things you are going to get in this batch. Okay, the again the remember the code, that is Y422, and just apply this code and you will get the flat 80% off like today. Okay, so like in this batch also. So let's start today's class, and with the very first question, that is related to your company account part 1. Okay, so company account 1, where we have to understand like how the company issued the shares. And if you just watch my sessions in the paid batches, then I think you should know about like how any company issued the shares and how you can make the journal entry from that, because the journal entry is a very important thing to understand. And definitely you will get 1 to 2 questions in the examination from the journal entry of the issuance of the share. So this is a very important chapter. Okay, so like the journal and the journal entry is also very important to understand. So look, how to solve this kind of the question is a very easy way. Okay, just try to understand. Look, just understand the one term here. Just let me change the ink pen. Okay, so when we talk about the calls in area, okay, so whenever you will find this word, that is calls in area, just try to understand whatever the unpaid calls. Okay, whatever the unpaid calls, or whatever the amount that is not paid by the subscriber, okay, or by the shareholder, that amount we can just hold into the calls in area. Okay, so this we have to understand only. Now the question is, the subscribed share capital of any company, that is 80 lakh rupees divided into shares of the 100 rupees each, and there were no calls in area till the final call was made. Okay, so there is a like what the question is, there were no calls in area till the final calls was made. Okay, so the final call made was paid on the 77,500 shares. That means before the final call, okay, whatever the amount that is demanded by the company, that all paid by the shareholders. Okay, so the final call made was paid on the 77,500 shares. So the calls in area amounted to like 67,500. So the final call money per share, what it would be, simply we can do that. Okay, the very important thing you always have to understand, like when we talk about the subscribed share capital, that is total capital is actually given the 80 lakh here. Okay, so 80 lakhs, the given capital, the capital is given, and this is divided like into the share of the 100 rupees each. Okay, so if we just divide with the 100 rupees, so how much amount you will get here? So you will definitely get, that is 80,000 rupees, 80,000 shares. Okay, So that is the total number of the shares. You can understand that is 80,000 shares, because this 80 lakh rupees is a like the total amount. Okay, so this 80 lakh rupees is a total amount, that is subscribed capital. And when we divide with the 100, you can understand this is like, we can just understand that how much share is actually subscribed. Okay, so we'll say that is total 80,000 shares that is subscribed. So there were no calls in area till the final call was made, and the final call made was paid on only on 77,500. So now just tell me here that 80,000 shares like just subscribed by the shareholders, and the final call is made only for the 77,500 shares. That means last call is not paid for the 2,500 shares. Is it understandable for everyone or not? That is the last call, that is which is not paid for the shares, so that would be your 2,500. Okay, so this is correct for everyone, right? So like for this, the last call is not paid, so the total amount, that is 67,500 is given. So simply just equal to that, like to 2,500 shares, that will be equal to your 67,500 rupees. And you can understand the final call money per share what it would be. Then you only have to simply divide in this, so you will get 675, that would be divided by the 25. So what answer you will get here? That is so 27, right? So the correct answer, that would be the 27 here. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone here. Okay, fine. So this is how we have to solve the questions for the share capital. Just keep patience whenever you will find the questions in the examination, and if you're finding this is something complicated, just keep calm there. Okay, and you have to just solve every question in a very sequence manner, right? Next question. What ratios are applied to find out the efficiency of a performance of the firm? Okay, so what ratio are just applied to find out the efficiency of the performance of a firm? So the correct answer, that would be your activity ratio. Okay, that is activity ratio. Sometimes you can also understand when we talk about the turnover ratio, like you understand the inventory turnover ratio. So from that you can just understand the activity ratio is just able just applied to find out the efficiency of the performance of the firm. And these kind of the question also asked in the examination, right? Next question. Preference shares of the 10 rupees each, which were issued at par, are eligible for the redemption if they are paid application and the allotment money at 5 rupees per share, fully paid up at 10 rupees per share, paid up at 7.50 per share, and all of the above. Okay, so look, when we talk about the share, you can understand there is a some kind of the preferential share also. Okay, so when we talk about the preference shares of the 10 rupees each, which were issued at par, are eligible for the redemption. Okay, they only eligible for the redemption when the fully paid up at the 10 rupees per share. That means fully paid up by the shareholder. When the 10 rupees that is fully paid up by the shareholders, then the preferential shares are eligible for the redemption of the like are the redemption. Okay, so this is a very important to understand, and this is a very important question as well for your exam point of view, right? So just understand this, and just also just write down into your notes. Okay, so when it is fully paid up at the 10 rupees per share, then you can understand the preferential shares are eligible for the redemption. Okay, so that is the answer of this question. Next question. Reserve capital means, okay, whenever we talk about the reserve capital, you can also just understand a term that is a liquidation. Okay, so what we understand by the liquidation? Whenever we talk about the liquidation, you can understand the liquidation is a process when actually just company come to an end. Okay, when just company come to an end for all the business process of its. Okay, so this is known as a liquidation, and the reserve capital is just actually known as a part of the subscribed uncalled capital. This is understand as the part of the subscribed uncalled capital, which is generally called when company is just going to be liquidate. Okay, or just company just going to come to an end. Okay, or you can also understand the whatever the company just going to close its business. Okay, So when the company is going to close its business and you can understand the liquidation process, so then reserve capital is called, otherwise reserve capital is never called. This is the part of the subscribed uncalled capital, okay, that is known as a reserve capital, right? Next question. Average inventory is given here 28,000, closing inventory that is 6,000 more than. Look, this kind of the question you may get in the examination. This is a very important question to understand. And the closing inventory is given the more than opening inventory. Then find the value of the closing inventory you have to find out, okay. So either we say that is average stock or we say the inventory, that is same, okay. Closing stock or inventory, that is same. The closing stock value, that is same. Opening is inventory or opening stock, that is same, okay. So you never have to be confused between the inventory and the stock. Now the question is that average inventory is given, that is 28,000. So when we talk about the average inventory, so you can understand what the value of it given, that is opening stock plus closing stock, and we can also just write it as like opening inventory plus closing inventory, okay. So average inventory, you can understand the opening stock plus closing stock, that is divided by the two, and that value would be the 28,000, okay. Now that is given. Now the closing inventory is given the 6,000 more than the opening inventory. What this line means, that is closing stock is actually you can also just write in this way, that is closing stock minus opening stock, and it would be equal to the 6,000, okay. Now you have to find out the value of the closing inventory or the closing stock, right? So we can also just write this equation in this way, that is opening stock plus closing stock, and it would be equal to 2 multiplied by the 28, that would be equal to the 56,000, okay. So that way you can also just write in this equation. Now what you have to do, now simply you have to add all like both 1 and 2 equation, okay. So if I just add here, so you will get the opening stock and opening stock, that is going to cancel out here, and you will get the 2 multiplied with the closing stock or closing inventory, and that value you will get the 62,000, okay. So what would be the value of your closing stock? That would be your 31,000. That would be your answer for this question, okay. So this is how you have to solve the questions in the examination also. I'm just getting like everyone just understanding whatever I'm just explaining here, right? Next question. The balance on the debit side of the bank column in the cash book indicates what? Okay. Look, in the examination, you will definitely get this kind of the question, and you always have to understand what the debit side of the cash book represent and what the debit side or credit side of the passbook represent. And both you have to understand the opposite of each other, right? Now, when we talk about the cash book, now you can just tell me here that on the debit side of the cash book, we actually just record the cash receipts, right? And on the credit side of the cash book, we actually just going to record all the cash payments of the cash book. While when we talk about on the debit side of the passbook, what we record the opposite of that, that is the cash payment, and on the credit side, what we record, that is cash receipts. Now, just read the question, and you will definitely get the question from this. That is sure. That means you will definitely get this kind of the question in the examination. Okay. So the balance on the debit side of the bank column in the cash book. When we talk about the bank column, you can just say that is a passbook or the bank statement. Okay. So the balance on the debit side of the bank column in the cash book, what it indicates, it definitely indicates the debit side, that is a cash payment, okay. That means the total amount that is withdrawn from the bank or the total liabilities of the customer, okay. That you can also understand. So this is the right answer for this question, okay. So always have to understand we are talking about the debit side of the bank column, okay. Or you can also understand that debit column of the bank passbook or the bank statement. So this is how you have to do. Either it is given the cash book, and you have to understand in the cash book we are just talking about the cash book, that just do not confuse here. The debit side of the bank column, we are asking for the bank column, okay. So that's why we have to understand like this, okay. Next. Cash book with the cash in the discount column is mostly referred as what? Just tell me if you just watching my if you just are the like if you just enrolled in my batches, so you just know about that how to understand this kind of the questions. So cash book with the cash and the discount. What I told you that look in the that is the correct answer. That is a double column cash book. What I told you there, that always understand D stands for the discount. Okay, so that's why we can understand in the double column cash book we actually introduced another column, that is discount column, right? Okay, and in the triple column cash book what we introduced, that is bank column. Okay, so simple cash book or single cash book, that is the same. Double column D stands for the discount, so that means in the double column cash book what column we introduce, that is discount. And in the three column cash book what column we introduce, that is the bank account. Okay, so that is very important to understand. In the three column cash book, that is cash book. Okay, that is your bank column, that is your discount column. Okay, so that all you have to understand. Next question. A machinery was purchased by this company on 1st of January 2020. Okay, depreciation was charged at the 15% per annum under straight line method. With effect from the second year, depreciation was charged under the written down value method at the same rate. The written down value of the machinery on the 1st of January 2022 was 3,68,475. So find the original cost of the machinery. Okay, so how to solve this kind of the question? Look again, if you just good with your concept, so stay with your concept and just do not be afraid to see these kind of the questions. Okay, because you know the only the language is complicated, not the question, right? So just understand, a machinery that is purchased on the 1st of January 2020, depreciation was charged at the 15% per annum under state line method. Suppose that the value of that machine, that is the X. Okay. Now you can understand if the depreciation was charged at this 15% per annum under state line method, so with effect from the second year depreciation. Now just tell me the very important thing, that if I say that is value of machine after 1 year. So what you will say? You will definitely say that it would be equal to the 85%, or you can also say that is 0.85 multiplied with the X. Okay, so this would be your total value of the machine after 1 year. So because the 15% per annum, that is appreciation charge under the straight line method. Now what the question is, that with effect from the second year, that means 1st of January to 2022, 1st of January, that you can understand of the 2021, that value of the machine after 1 year, that it would be the 0.85 multiplied with the X. Now from the second year depreciation was charged under the written down value method. And the very important feature, that written down value method, the depreciation rate would always apply on the previous year end value. So in the written down value method, the depreciation rate would always apply on the previous year and value. So this is a very important thing to understand. Now understand that with effect from the second year, depreciation was charged under the written down value method at the same rate. Now you can understand, if I just ask you that the written down value of the machinery on the 1st of January 2022 was given this, so find the original cost of the machinery, that you have to tell. So that means you actually just calculate the value till of the 1st of January 2021, and you are just asking that the what the value, like the value is given of the machinery, that is 1st of January 2022. So you can understand, now again you have to tell the value of the machine after 2 years. So now just tell me here, because the depreciation rate always charged on the previous year end value. So what I will say here, I will say that is 0.85. Now again 15% would be applied on this value, or isn't it or not? That is 0.85x, and this would be multiplied with your, because this is X, just try to understand, this is X. Okay, so this would be multiplied with the, again like the 15% the depreciation would be charged, but here we have to calculate the, like the written down value method, or the reduced value of the machinery, that is given the 3,68,475. That means we can say, like again, if we just multiply it with the 0.85, so what you will get? You will get here that is 85% multiplied with the 85% and multiplied with the x, and that value would be equal to your 3,68,475. Okay, so now just calculate and tell me what the answer you are getting here. Just calculate and tell me what the answer you are getting. That is 3,68,475 divided by the 85, and that is again divided by the 85. So you will get here 51 value of this, and this would be multiplied with the 40. Okay, so this would equal to your 5,10,000. Okay, so this would be your answer, that is 5,10,000. This is how you have to solve the question in the examination also. So the twist of this question, the only the term that is introduced, that is written down value method, and nothing anything that is changed here. Okay, because we can understand that we have to apply the value here, like we have to just apply the depreciation on the previous year end value, and the previous year end value, that is the 0.85 multiplied with the x is the value of, like, the when we say that is what is the original cost of the machine, so you can understand we just assume that this is a x. Okay, so this is how we actually solve the questions. Now the next questions. A bill of exchange before its acceptance is called as what? When we talk about the bill of exchange, you always have to understand in the bill of exchange before its acceptance, because when we talk about the seller, okay, when we talk about the seller here and buyer here, okay, and this seller is actually the just maker of the bill of exchange, and this buyer is known as the acceptor of the bill of exchange. Okay, so suppose that this maker is actually sent the bill of exchange to the buyer for acceptance the bill of exchange. Okay, like for acceptance the all the terms and condition that is written on this bill of exchange. Okay, so for acceptance that, so the bill of exchange before its acceptance is called as what? That is draft. Okay, one more important thing I would like to tell you here, that this bill of exchange would considered as a bills receivable after acceptance. Okay, after acceptance, this bill of exchange is considered as a bills receivable for the seller or the maker of the bill of exchange, and this bill of exchange would considered as a bills payable for the buyer. Okay, after acceptance. Before acceptance, this only considered as a draft, right? So bills receivable also just understandable as an asset, and bills payable always considered as a liability, and you can also understand this is liability and the current liability. Okay, and this bills receivable is the current asset, right? So this you have to understand, right? Okay, so a bill of exchange before its acceptance is called as draft, and I think now it is understandable for everyone. Next, if opening stock is given, closing stock is given, raw material purchase is given, then inventory turnover ratio would be how many times? Okay, so look, and again, if I say inventory turnover ratio, what we understand by the inventory turnover ratio, it is your cost of goods sold and divided by the average inventory. Okay, this we actually understood, right? So cost of goods sold, how we can calculate this? Cost of goods sold is your opening stock. Okay, so opening stock, that is given the 50,000 plus purchases. Okay, purchases, that is given the 4 lakh. Just write down here 4 lakh plus the direct expenses. Here no any direct expense are given, so just leave here. Minus closing stock. So closing stock, that is given the 30,000. What is the value of that? You will get the 4 lakh 20,000. That would be your cost of goods sold value. Okay, this is how we actually solve. So now we will just write here, that is 4,20,000 divide by the, now average inventory, that is opening stock plus closing stock divide by the 2. Okay, so opening stock, that is your 50,000. Then we have to calculate the average inventory, then you can understand the opening stock, that is 50,000 plus closing stock 30,000 divide by the 2, and then it would become the 40,000. Okay, so just write here 40,000. Okay, now what would be the ratio here? Just tell me here that what would be the answer of this. 40 here, 40 here, that would be cancelled out, right? And now if I have to just solve this, then this become your 10.5. Okay, that would be your 10.5 times. The correct answer, that would be the second in this case. I hope it is understandable for everyone, right? Okay. So thank you everyone for joining me here. And if you just liking our content, liking our effort, just do not forget to hit the like button on this. Meanwhile, I just also want to tell you here that you will get the Adda 247, the complete e-kit for the PPB, AFB, and the LRAB. And the very beautiful thing of this, like you can understand, it is the compiled short notes and the compiled like every chapter. Because if I just talk about, you just do not need to read so many things. There are all there is a, you will get everything in this book. So like the mock test is also there here. So this is a very good thing that you can just purchase here, like from the 24/7 store. Now, you can also enroll for the like bilingual as well as the English medium courses. Like for the JIB video course, you will get here, and you only have to use a code that is Y422 here, and you will get the flat 80% off here. Okay. Meanwhile, like you can say here that the final days just going on for your examination. So this is a time when you should just giving the mock test is a very important key for successful like in these kind of the examination. Okay, because from the mock test you can just realize in which areas you still have to work on, right? So like test for the test spec, you have to use the code Y422S, and with this code you are going to get the flat 17% off like in the mock test. Okay, so just enroll fast and just grab this opportunity because time is a very less now. Only hardly, if I say, that is 10 to 12 days only remain for examination. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching me in this session. I hope you all just understood and I hope you all just enjoyed this session. So thank you everyone for joining me in this session.